When a new tenant moves into an old apartment building, he discovers a mysterious room, 6B, that doesn't appear on any floor plans and no one else seems to know it exists. The room changes every time he enters it, and something is watching him from inside. Hello, I'm Alex, and I'm on a quest to uncover all the mysteries that lurk in the shadows of our everyday lives. And one of those mysteries pertains to apartments, or as they're known in the world of real estate, potential portals to the unknown. It means exactly what you think it means, and of course, as a certified paranormal investigator, I've done my fair bit of exploring haunted houses, right? Just off the top of my head, I've been to abandoned mansions, creepy hotels, and I think from that I've seen quite a few unexplainable things, so I know what I'm talking about. But when it comes to this particular case, whether you're just looking for a cozy studio or something more spacious, it is worth learning that apartments aren't always what they seem. And so without further ado, let's metaphorically turn the key to apartment 6B as I uncover the chilling tale of a room that was never supposed to exist. When I first heard about this story, I couldn't believe my ears. I mean, we've all had that moment where we've forgotten where we put our keys or misplaced our phone, but forgetting an entire room, that's a whole new level of strange. But that's exactly what happened to our protagonist. Let's call him Tom. Tom had just moved into this old apartment building, the kind that's got more history than a museum and more creaks than a rusty gate. He was excited, New place, new start, all that jazz. But here's where things get weird. Tom noticed something odd about his floor plan. There was a gap, a space that didn't make sense. And being the curious cat that he was, and let's face it, we'd all do the same, he decided to investigate. That's when he found it, apartment 6B, a room that, according to every official document and every other tenant in the building, simply didn't exist. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alex, maybe it was just a storage closet or a maintenance room? But oh no, my friends, this was a full-fledged apartment, and not just any apartment. This was an apartment with a mind of its own. You see, every time Tom entered 6B, it was different. One day, it might be a cozy studio with vintage furniture. The next, a sleek modern loft. It was like the room was playing dress-up, trying on different personalities like we try on clothes. But here's the kicker, and this is where things get really spooky. Tom wasn't alone in that room. No, sir. Every time he stepped into 6B, he felt eyes on him, watching, waiting. It was like the room itself was alive, observing its unexpected visitor with curiosity, or perhaps something more sinister. Now let me paint you a picture of the moment everything changed for Tom. It was a Tuesday night, nothing special about it. Tom had just gotten home from work, microwave dinner in hand, because, let's face it, who has the energy to cook after a long day? He was about to settle in for a night of mindless TV when he heard it. A sound coming from the wall. Not just any wall, mind you, but the wall that separated his apartment from the mysterious 6B. It started as a faint tapping, like someone gently knocking on the other side. Tap, tap, tap. Tom tried to ignore it at first. Maybe it was just the pipes, right? Old buildings make weird noises all the time. But then the tapping got louder, more insistent. It was like whatever was on the other side knew Tom was there and was demanding his attention. Against his better judgment, and isn't that always how these stories go, Tom found himself standing in front of the door to 6B. His hand was shaking as he reached for the doorknob. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest like it was trying to break free and run away without him. And honestly, who could blame it? As Tom turned the knob, the tapping suddenly stopped. The silence that followed was deafening. He pushed the door open, and what he saw, well, let's just say it wasn't what he expected. The room was empty, completely and utterly empty. No furniture, no wallpaper, nothing. just bare walls and a wooden floor. But here's the thing, the room felt full. Full of what, you ask? Energy, anticipation. Like the whole room was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. And then it did. As Tom stood there, frozen in the doorway, the room began to change. It was subtle at first, a flicker in the corner of his eye, a shift in the shadows. But then it picked up speed. The walls seemed to breathe, expanding and contracting. Colors swirled across the surfaces like spilled paint. Furniture appeared and disappeared in the blink of an eye. And through it all, Tom could feel those eyes on him, watching, always watching. He wanted to run, to slam the door and never look back. But he couldn't move. It was like his feet were glued to the floor. All he could do was stand there and watch as the room cycled through 100 different versions of itself, each one more bizarre than the last. And then, just as suddenly as it had started, it stopped. The room settled into a final form, a perfect replica of Tom's own apartment. Every detail was exactly the same, right down to the half-eaten microwave dinner on the coffee table. That's when Tom heard the voice. It didn't come from anywhere in particular. It seemed to come from everywhere at once, filling the room like a thick fog. "Welcome home," it said. And in that moment, Tom knew. He knew that his life would never be the same again. In the days that followed, Tom's life became a waking nightmare. He couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw that room, changing and shifting. He heard that voice, welcoming him home. He tried to tell his neighbors, the building manager, anyone who would listen, but no one believed him. To them, 6B didn't exist. It was just a gap in the numbering, a quirk of an old building. Tom became obsessed. He spent hours staring at the walls separating his apartment from 6B, waiting for the tapping to start again. He pored over old building plans, trying to find any mention of the mysterious room. He even considered tearing down the wall just to prove to everyone that he wasn't crazy. But deep down, Tom knew the truth. The room was real. It was alive. And for some reason, it had chosen him. As the weeks went by, Tom's behavior became more and more erratic. His friends stopped calling. His boss gave him worried looks, but Tom didn't care. All he could think about was 6B. What was it? Why was it there? And what did it want from him? And then, one night, everything changed. Again, Tom woke up in the middle of the night to find himself standing in front of the door to 6B. He had no memory of getting out of bed, of walking to the door. It was like his body had moved on its own, drawn by some unseen force. The door was open. Tom stepped inside, his heart racing. The room was different this time. It wasn't empty, and it wasn't a replica of his apartment. Instead, it was everything. Every version of the room he had ever seen, all layered on top of each other. It was a dizzying, impossible sight. Furniture from different eras occupied the same space. Wallpapers clashed and merged. The floor was carpet and tile and wood, all at once. And in the center of it all was a figure. It was hazy, indistinct, like a person made of smoke. But Tom could feel its gaze on him, more intense than ever before. The figure spoke, and its voice was the same one Tom had heard before. "You've been looking for answers," it said. "Are you ready to find them?" Tom wanted to run. He wanted to scream, but instead he found himself nodding. "Yes," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "I'm ready." The figure reached out a hand, and Tom, as if in a trance, reached back. As their hands met, the room began to spin. Colors blurred, shapes twisted. Tom felt like he was falling into an endless void. And then suddenly it was over. Tom found himself back in his own apartment, sitting on his couch. The TV was on, playing some late-night infomercial. His microwave dinner, long since gone cold, sat on the coffee table. For a moment, Tom thought it had all been a dream. A vivid, terrifying dream, but a dream nonetheless. But then he noticed something. On his hand, where the smoky figure had touched him, was a mark, a small, perfect circle, like a brand. Tom knew then that it hadn't been a dream. It had all been real. And whatever had happened in that room, whatever he had agreed to, it was only the beginning. As he sat there, staring at the mark on his hand, Tom couldn't shake the feeling that he had just signed up for something far beyond his understanding. The room 6B wasn't just a mystery to be solved, it was a doorway to something else, something bigger. And now, for better or worse, Tom was a part of it. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever encountered a mysterious room or unexplainable phenomenon in your living space. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the supernatural shuffle. Until the next video, sleep tight and don't let the interdimensional beings bite. Goodbye.